I had 20 after on my clock.
If we go by that clock, but
Well, dang.
we can start whenever.
Well, we can wait. We can wait if we want. I mean, I was just going on mine.
What's your phone say?
Pardon?
What's your phone say?
What's my phone say? Well, it should be the same as my.
Oh, is it an Apple Watch? Then it should be
No,
right.
it's a Fitbit.
Oh,
And it's 10:22 on here.
Anytime you're ready.
So I don't know, whatever you want to do.
apparently we need
We have to reset that clock.
Apparently we need to.
We ain't got nobody tall enough.
I know.
Charles could maybe reach it.
I'm sorry, what?
So we ain't nobody tall enough to fix the clock. Except you're probably the only the tallest one here.
Oh, I can do it, yeah. I can.
Very carefully stand on the chair.
Okay, well, you know. Everybody's enjoying it. We're debating about what time it really is, y'all. That clock says one thing, my clock says another thing, and everybody's having too much fun. Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors and 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out of Kankakee and rolls along the houses, farms, and fields, passing towns that have no name, and freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Good morning. Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done, dealing card games with the old men in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle. Feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor. And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers ride their father's magic carpet made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep are rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Well, it's nighttime on the city of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, we'll be there by morning, through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his songs again. The passengers will please refrain. This train's got the disappeared railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? I say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Arlo Guthrie, if y'all remember him, he's the one that did that song, remember she?
Huh?
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer. It wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Oh, love to some is like a cloud, for some as strong as steel, for some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is holding on, some say letting go, and some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain, like a fire when it's cold outside, or thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, my memories of love will be of you. Some say love is holding on, some say letting go, some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the mountains, full of conflict, full of change, like a fire when it's cold outside, or thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, my memories of love will be of you. That's a John Denver song. Sherry discovered it and thought I ought to sing it because I love John Denver. And so it was a real nice, newer production of his to be able to find. Sometimes I don't think any of us ever quit writing and singing and doing what we can. This next one, by the way, I want to introduce it. It's Broken Halos, and Chris Stapleton. It's a Chris Stapleton song, so if you like him, which I do, Tony's going to sing this for everybody.
Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine. to teach us, then they leave us, and they find some other soul to save. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine. Don't go looking for the reasons. Don't go asking Jesus why. We're not meant to know the answers. They belong to the by and by. They belong to the by and by. Seen my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine. Broken halos that used to shine.
Great duo, those two.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so I just realized that Shelby sounds like Gretchen Wilson. Who's, right? Gretchen Wilson? Who does she, Gretchen Wilson? She's not with Chris Stapleton, but is she with Eric Church sometimes? Anyway, she's awesome.
Yes, she is.
So she, you know who I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I do, but I was trying to think of who she's the
She's-
daughter of.
Yeah. Not necessarily the daughter of, but I think she sings with like Eric Church or one of those big mega. They do duos.
Well, she was with Wilson Phillips, too.
Oh yeah. Oh. Anyway, there you go, Gretchen
Thank
Wilson instead of Shelby. So welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Gulfport. Before we begin, let's just take a second to silence our phones if we haven't done that already. Now we can all stand and sing the opening song, Swing Wide the Doors.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. there's a voice that I've heard for years. I've learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Let us pray. We open our hearts and minds to receive divine inspiration this morning at this very special place and time. May we allow Spirit to inform us of what is ours to release and what is ours to embrace. We open up, we release, and we receive as Spirit moves in, around, and through us. We are grateful for this glorious morning and all those who are serving today of their gifts and talents. May we each be blessed in a special way. Amen. Now, welcome to Unity of Gulfport. By a show of hands, do we have any first-time guests? Nobody wants to admit to it. Anyway, we got a nice packed house of everybody that comes all the time. I love that. All right, so let's do our weekly affirmation. We come together to affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, and with the source of all that is. In that spirit of unity, let us pause to unfold in light and love all people in our community and in our world. The candle of unity signifies the light within each of us and our connection to the source of all that is. And so it is. Together, let us affirm our faith. I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I have faith that God provides ways when to human sense there is no way. I have faith that God is guiding me in all ways. My health, happiness, and success are assured. Now we could stand one more time and sing God in Everything.
Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in
Williamson will now come up and read the daily word. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this morning, June 29th. Can you believe it? The year's half over. Unbelievable. Release is the word for today. I release and move forward with a grateful heart. Although my experience can be seen as a gift bringing new insight or deeper understanding, it may be hard to appreciate at first. When I struggle to release a painful memory, I can open my mind and heart to better receive the gift of that experience. For instance, learning why a relationship ended shows me where I can grow in understanding and empathy. Feeling the unconditional love of God, I forgive my past weaknesses and make amends where I can. When I recognize that holding on to resentment hurts only me, I can more easily release it and forgive. Blessed by the power of release and grateful for the power of God within, I move forward, ready to live and love fully again. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Genesis 32:26.
Announcements are on the slide and on the back of your bulletin. Join us for an enlightening and engaging series this summer as Reverend Judy invites a guest each Sunday, as well as some exciting guest speakers. See schedule on the bulletin. Today is going to be really good. If you have any specific prayer requests, please fill out a prayer request form located on the back table. Drop it in the prayer box, and our prayer team here and at Silent Unity will pray for you. And now, I'm going to bring up our teacher, the fabulous and stylish Judy Voght. She always has all these amazing outfits on every week. Thank you.
She's pretty amazing herself, isn't she? And stylish. We have a lot of stylish people here. You like that visual? I just loved that photo of the woman looking for discernment and the power of discernment. How do we make sacred decisions? How do we do that? How will I know? I get that question often. How will I know what is the right thing to do? How will I know what is mine to do? How will I know what is the right path? Sometimes it's not easy, is it? Sometimes it's particularly difficult because it means that we are, just as Rick said, releasing things from the past sometimes that have been sacred to us, have been sacred to our culture. Culturally, they were extremely important. And that's one of the things that we need to learn if we're going to grow spiritually for all the years we're here on this earth, is what to release, when, and how. Right? I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I do get a lot of questions like that. How will I know what is the voice of spirit and not ego? How will I know what is mine to do? And one of the first things we need to remember too is that none of us are perfect and we may not get it right. But one of the decisions we ask ourselves is, who am I now? Not who was I, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. We may look at the past and say, wow, look at that decision. Look at that mistake I made at that time. And I think that the wise answer would be, or the question would be, what did you learn? What did you learn from that? Did you learn anything from that? If you did, then let's forget about that. Let's forgive that. Let's move on and release it. Just like the Daily Word said, I'm going to release that and be grateful for who I am now, because the person I am now and the harmony and the love and the spirit that I'm aligned with right now would not have made that choice, would they? And that's how you know you're evolving spiritually. That's how you know your life is improving. If you look back on a spiritually immature self and a decision you made at that time, would you make that decision now? Certainly you would not. You would not do that. So how do we know if it's the voice of spirit that's leading us? I even had an occasion recently to help rewrite some old wedding vows that I will usually give people as just using it as a draft to go by if they want to help create their own. And I have a whole book of them, and I was looking at them thinking, wow, those are old, aren't they? That's a whole lot of old language in there we wouldn't use today. Vows and promises, and I'm looking at it, and even it could have even been misogynistic if you look at the language of it. And so I'm looking at the language saying, okay, we're gonna clear all this out, and I didn't even use it as a template. I said, we're going to start talking about, I choose you to live my life with. Doesn't that sound powerful? Doesn't that sound like an enlightened choice with discernment? Here's what I choose. And then, instead of a bunch of vows and promises, let's change that to intentions. My intention is to love you, live with you, be someone that you can fall back on. I intend to have your back. I intend to listen to you, to love you, and all of those things. Doesn't that sound like a whole lot better than all those old vows and promises we used to? Language and culture changes over the years, and you go ahead and use those if you want. But I think I'm going to, from now on, when I give someone a template, I'm going to say, let's consider some new language here that brings in a whole new understanding of what our relationships can be. And you know, the truth is, you only want to be with someone else as long as they want to be with you too, right? Like when Rick was reading the Daily Word, releasing. Don't hold on to something from the past that no longer serves. And speaking about that and looking at discernment, how can I know if I have a big decision in front of me? One of the things to do is to be still and listen. And then you can listen, which voice is speaking here? Which voice am I hearing? Is it the voice of fear? Fear is loud, isn't it? And sometimes fear is urgent. Got to make a decision now, because, you know, this opportunity will only come once. When you start hearing that sort of thing, that's when you need to be still and listen. Listen carefully to the voice within, the voice of wisdom that's not fearful, And you may be a little uncomfortable as you leave one place and go to another, not knowing what's ahead, because we want a guarantee, don't we? We like guarantees. We want to see a guarantee of a fact that things are going to be good for us. We're going to have a safety net. But there are times we don't have a safety net. And there's a test of our spiritual maturity too, when we say, okay, I've gone within, I've listened to the voice of love, of God, of wisdom. And I know that this path is for me. And no, it's not easy. It's not always easy. But if you follow the voice of love instead of the voice of fear, you'll find the right decision. It will come. And have patience. Sometimes patience is necessary to find your right path, your right truth. This morning, I'd like to ask if there are any specific prayer requests. I know I've already had several people that have asked me how our little violinist is doing, and she's recovering. It will take several weeks, though, for her to recover enough to be comfortable sitting and certainly holding her violin and playing it, but she'll be back. And she does miss being here. Our family will be out, Sherry and Shelby will be out 1 week, Dan and I will be out 2 weeks. We're going to Oregon. The family's going to Oregon. Dan's going to drive out there. He's taking Jonna some furniture, and the rest of us are going to fly out there, and Sherry and Shelby and their family are coming back, and I'm going to ride back with Dan, so pray for me, everybody. I needed to explain that so I could put me on the prayer list, okay? That's a good idea. Doug says to put Dan on the prayer list too. Indeed. He's already planned the trip coming back is going to be much different than the trip going out there. He's going to make it out there in like 4 days, and the trip back we're going to take our time and yeah. Yeah, that. Stay in a little bit nicer hotel rooms. Yeah. Not as many miles on the road and that sort of thing. So indeed, I've put Dan on the prayer list too. Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any other prayer requests? Micah.
First of all, my sister Sarah, and then her mother-in-law Tina, and Tina's daughter Jaden.
Okay. Your sister Sarah, and she's home now.
Yeah,
And recovering, yeah, okay. And her mother-in-law and sister-in-law?
yeah, sister-in-law Jaden.
Sister-in-law Jaden, okay. All right, we will do that. Yes, Dan. Okay. Celebrate that Dan's Aunt Wilma finally passed on to the next life. She was 102 and has had dementia for several years. So we're just grateful for this blessing and for her that she's released from this. Yeah, well. Oh, that's right. He has another aunt that's 104. Yeah, wow. His Aunt Jean, my goodness. Yeah, living long, aren't they? How's your family, Tony? Your brothers still need prayer?
Yes, I mean, the continual prayer for strength and actually I'd like the prayers for Barbara and Ed, just continual strength
Barbara and Ed, yes. Are they home yet?
They're home.
Okay,
We think they're home.
okay,
Yeah, they're home. Just day-to-day,
right.
life.
She's really had a time. She had enough things going on, and then was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré, which is pretty serious, and it can last for months, sometimes years, for people. So continue praying for Barbara. She's the lovely blonde that sits usually behind Andrea. Yeah. Yes, Vicki. Lewis, of course. He's not here this morning. And pray for me too. I ordered too much pizza, so y'all stay and eat a lot. I'm one of those that believes in too much food rather than not enough, so I hope you brought your appetites. Yes, Matt.
Family friend, Patty and Robbie Robertson in Iowa.
Patty and Robbie Robertson.
Couple, the lady's dealing with dementia, different challenges.
Okay. Okay. Iowa? Matt's friends. Okay. Yes, Alice.
Prayer of gratitude for my friend who had emergency surgery. They thought he was having seizures, and it turns out his heart was stopping. He wasn't having seizures, so now they put a pacemaker in and he's doing well.
Okay, Alice's friend who's had some procedures and heart stoppage. We pray for that. We sure do. And you know, prayer works. Prayer works. Prayer works. If nothing else, it can send very needed energy to a person that's depleted in a time where they don't have enough strength to carry on. And you just be amazed how the prayer and the love and the energy that you send can have a huge effect upon them and their recovery. And we know there are a lot of people out there too with prosperity issues. And we pray for that. A lot of our friends, loved ones. Healing in all ways. Okay, is that all? Okay. Let's take a moment, if you would, to be still, right where you are, taking a deep breath, sitting up straight. Breathing in the love, generosity, the abundance in the universe. Breathing it into our bodies, into every cell. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Feeling that, sending it down to every place in your body that needs it. Releasing if you can, if you will, just for a few moments, every thought that keeps you from your wholeness, your health, your perfection. Breathing in, I allow my body to relax and receive the energy that comes from God. Allowing the light to come in, down into my heart, where I align with that wisdom of which we spoke a few minutes ago, where discernment resides. The alignment with the heart and the mind of God. No ego, no fear, no worry, No need of a safety net because we each have one. And that's knowing that God is right there for us, with us. This energy that we call God, the divine, is holding us, holding sacred space for us to heal, to cleanse, to become all that we can be. And it's in that sacred space, that sweet spot right there with God, that we place each and every one of these requests this morning. Seeing each person as the beloved sees them, already healed and whole, and filled with the light and love of God. That sustains, heals, and illumines our hearts and our minds and our very path forward. We pray that for each and every one of us. We pray that for our family members, this unity, community, our wider community, and the world. As we say, may peace begin with me. So it is. Amen.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause I'm not the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything everything I know is you.
Hello. Okay, it does work.
Good morning, Micah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I was just sitting here trying to remember the year I first met you. What year were you born, Micah?
2008.
2008. She's been wise since the day she was born. I do remember we were in the other building, and I know that you originally had gone to another Unity, one in Mobile with Reverend Christie and her mother, and then I believe you and your family arrived here about 2012 or so. And there's some photos, and I need to look those up. I was going to when your grandfather passed away in April of that there was an Easter, and I think it was 2013. And there's a really cool photo, and I wish I had been able to find it this week. I did not. It's just on an older memory drive, but I will pull it up, of Micah. She's probably this tall. And standing in front of her grandpa, J.R.
Aww.
And
I don't think I've even seen this photo.
I bet you haven't. I know I've seen it. And your older sister, Danielle, was still alive at that time. And she was in the photo too, along with Sarah, your other sister.
Yep.
And of course, your mom sitting out here. I think everybody knows who your mom is, Christy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody knows who she is. So, Micah, you'll be a senior this coming year?
I will. I will be a senior.
And you were just voted as band drum major.
Yes.
Yes, for your high school.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So, basically, the drum majors in our band program, they conduct the entire marching show, so they stand up on the podium and wave their arms around in tempo, and then people march to you. But also, it's it's chosen based off of leadership and how well you are able to lead, the program. And so, the fact that at my band banquet, that was in, I guess, May, I got the leadership award, and then was pretty much immediately after selected to be drum major. So, and I thought I bombed the audition.
She was certain she bombed, and apparently not.
Yeah, I had the second overall highest score, even though I fumbled during the actual, we had a prepared piece and then a display of patterns, which is where you conduct two different styles in different time signatures. And music people, you know what that means, but everyone else, it's just how many beats are in a measure, basically. And so I messed up on some of my transitions, and I was full body shaking. It looked like I was having a little mini seizure, so. The fact that even through all of that, I guess the interview that I did, they just loved me, so.
Well, of course they did. Everybody does.
So, I was sitting on Jaden's couch actually, and my phone starts blowing up, and I look at the Facebook post, and me and Nevaeh's names right next to each other, drum major. So it was pretty incredible.
Pretty big moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we know, of course, that your grades are probably some of the highest at the high school and the honor society.
Yeah, my transcript. So my mom just registered for me to keep going to school.
Good.
And my transcripts came with my classes that I would be taking, and at the bottom it said my class rank, and I am number 3 in my class.
Wow. That's pretty good. I know we have some other youth here too that are making great grades, and we're going to celebrate them too soon because we're so proud of you. We just really are. Well, tell us a little bit. You went to camp this past week?
I did. So I've been going to Camp Bratton Green, which is an Episcopal church camp, since I was 8 years old, I guess. And my friend Emery Kate, she introduced me to it, and I went and just fell in love with it. It's like one of my favorite places on this planet. And it's just like the community there is awesome, and they're not like, I know some churches will push the idea of a hateful God in your face. That's not at all what that place is. And they it's so different from any other church camp that I've personally heard about. Like, we literally hosted a drag race. So, like, dressed up in drag and danced at the church camp. So, that just tells you the type of place it is. It's not typical Christianity, like we're not typical Christianity. Right. And so, I have absolutely loved it. And this year, I was aging out. It was my last year as a camper. And this woman, she was an older lady, and her name is Sarah. I'm not really sure what her last name is, but she created an art piece with these popsicle sticks that she had dyed with the tie-dye that we used for the shirts. And she arranged them to look like a sunset over a lake. And so I was helping her with this project throughout the week. And I got to write the prayer protection on the front of it, and the piece is now titled All Is Well, because of the prayer protection. So now there's officially a little bit of unity at my church camp.
Oh. That's great. And is it over in Alabama?
No, it's in Canton, Mississippi. So it's up near Madison, Jackson, that whole area. And this year I drove myself the whole 3.5 hours. So
that's what I saw your sister Sarah exclaimed on Facebook. She couldn't believe it. Her little Micah was actually driving herself to church camp.
I know. And, the drive up was really easy, but the drive back, it was like whiteout rain, anyway.
Well, you're getting a lot of good experience.
Matt actually went up with us one year to drive me to church camp last year.
Well, that's right.
Mm-hmm. I did drive, but y'all were in the car, so it was different.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, having an adult in the car. Well, I wanted to ask you, too, about your early years, and we know, and we've talked about it before when we've had your mother up here, and that you had 2 older sisters and you still have one,
yep.
and another that's in the ethers, that had cystic fibrosis, and they were born with cystic fibrosis, and you weren't.
Yeah. So, Sarah and Dan have the same dad, and I have a different dad. So my dad is David Maxwell, their dad is Randy Sargent. And, but just because we're half sisters, like, that's my sister. So, but growing up, they were always in hospitals and, just So it was very normal for our family to, all right, let's go visit your sisters in the hospital. And,
Right.
So the hospital staff were probably just as acquainted with me. I know especially Dr. Sindel, their pulmonologist, was just as acquainted with me as he was with them. And so, just grew up around, I guess it was a lot of sickness, but to me, it was just seeing my sisters in, a place where they were going to get better. So, but yeah, Dan, I don't know. I always remembered her kind of being not worse off than Sarah, but, I remember her coughing more because, little me, I don't really know what's going on.
Right.
But I remember when she got her double lung transplant, was it 2010, Mama? 2012, she got a full double lung transplant. And I remember after she did, of course, she's my big sister, and she brings me a sock monkey, even though she's just gone through like this major procedure.
Aw.
So really, I don't remember the illness aspect of it just as much as like us having a sisterly bond, and the fact that they had CF never was odd to me. Like, I thought that was just the norm, going to hospitals all the time and, experiencing that.
I read a story that reminded me of you and your mom recently, and it was about a woman that had grown up in a fundamental religion, and then she, as a young adult, was around Christian Science, where they, now, and they're a little bit different than Unity. They may be first cousins in the New Thought category, but Christian Science just taught that you could heal no matter what. And I remember this article, and I need to send it to your mom because I think it would be helpful to you. It's going to speak to what you just said too. And that is that the woman said that she had prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for an outcome, and then it didn't come. And she became extremely angry because she had gone along with the Christian Science teachings that this person was going to heal no matter what, they were going to heal. And so it took her a while to come out of that anger when she realized that a neighbor had died, and someone said, well, it was his time to go, and all the prayers in the world are not going to prevent that. And so I think that it was a merging of our understanding of healing with the healing that took place in the Bible. And we read those stories and we acknowledge that, yes, apparently someone could even touch the hem of Jesus' garment and be healed. But what that really meant was, symbolically, they were allowing that Christ spirit inside and being healed from that. But the fact was they weren't going to heal if it was their time to go. And the woman talked about how hard that was. And I know for your parents at that time, Randy Sargent, the father of Danielle, your own father, who loved Danielle too, also your mother certainly, and JR and Helen, all of you, Sarah, how disappointed you were with all the prayers that had come in, and then Danielle died anyway. And we could leave the story there, but what is your understanding of how that
So I was about 6 when she died. So mind you, this is the perspective of a 6-year-old. which I think
Right.
sometimes is wiser than the perspective of somebody who's fully grown. But I knew my sister was sick, but when she was put into hospice care, I was under the impression that, oh, this is like where they do the big guns and they're gonna make her like all better. I did not realize that they were just making her comfortable enough to pass. But also I knew like deep down that whatever was happening was her choice. Like I never thought that Dan was being forced into, her illness. Like she always just took it with grace, and I just remember her, being my strong older sister. And I remember, so it was around Christmas time, and there was this Christmas tree in the lobby, and I think this was the night that she passed, and me and my dad went out into the lobby, and I took a little bear off the Christmas tree, and so all of it to me was just in a very, childlike perspective of it. I was like, oh, look, I get a little bear off the tree, and my sister's getting to sleep in her room. Like, wow, yay. So, and then she passed, and I obviously was upset, but I think, deep down I understood she was healed. But I couldn't verbalize that because, I was 6. Right. So, but I remember, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days after Dan passed away, and I was almost asleep, and I had rolled over in my bed to face the other side. So my bed was like this, here's the wall. And so I rolled this way, and I looked up, and Dan was there, and she was like this white, kind of pale blue color, and she just smiled at me and then went, dissolved. Oh. And I went downstairs the next morning, and I told Mom I saw Dan, and she was brushing her teeth in the bathroom, and she happened to look back at the same time, and she saw Dan standing in the same place. Oh. So that's how I knew my sister was okay. Right. I knew she was gone, but I didn't have an understanding of what the afterlife or what heaven was, but I knew that she was, at the very minimum, I knew she was okay. And I never thought that she was, in pain, because she smiled at me, and people who are in pain don't really smile much.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Right. I'm glad you had that understanding, and that it was peaceful, and it was a beautiful place, and yes, your mother and others certainly traveled a lot to Ochsner so many times in New Orleans, and then the hospice was in Pascagoula.
Pascagoula or Moss Point? Moss Point.
Moss Point.
Yeah, they're next door neighbors. So
yeah. But anyway, well, thank you for sharing about that, and I hope it wasn't too painful.
No.
But now tell us a bit about you and what you're going to do, and if Unity has informed any of that, the Unity teachings, have they informed any of your choices that you've made so far or might make?
I think they've informed pretty much every choice I've made.
Good.
The most recent one that I can think of, I was so lost on what I wanted to do for college, and I would, when I was making my schedule for my junior year, back when I was a sophomore, I cried because I really did not know what I wanted to do, and I thought, oh my gosh, this just dictates everything that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, which I know is not true, but when you're a junior in high school and you're looking at all of these AP classes in front of you and you're like, how am I going to do this? It's very daunting. And so I just remember being overwhelmed, and I was like, why am I doing all this if I don't even know what I want to be? Right. So anyway, my junior year, I took all of these college classes and AP classes, like I stated, and my class in the morning had free periods, so we would meet every other day, like a legit college class. And on the days that we wouldn't meet, I would go volunteer with the 6th grade band students, because that's when I started band. And so I went and I, volunteered with them, helped them learn their scales, played my instrument with them, just, did little things like that. And I did this for probably 5 months, I guess, from December all the way to April. So, anyway, in April they performed their final spring concert, and of course I was there because now those are my babies too, because I've helped them.
Yes.
And I was sitting in the very back guarding the doors because they did not have very good concert etiquette. They were leaving mid-performance, so anyway, I was guarding the doors to make sure people would sit down. And I was listening to the last song that they played, and it was the Imperial March from Star Wars. And they sounded so mature and good, and I had been listening to them since they sounded like dying ducks, and I was like, and now here they are making music, and I started tearing up a little bit, and I'm like, I contributed to this in some way. And I really enjoyed educating them and being able to be a part of this, and it just kind of dawned on me then. I think it was God kind of whispering in my ear saying, you want to be a band director. So I think I'm going to go to USM, major in music education.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that sounds great. That was what I was going to ask you next. That's wonderful. I've always thought that, and I know when you get to USM, one of the first decisions you'll need to make is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And I've thought that's a pretty daunting question to ask someone that's 18, isn't it? Isn't it? But it sounds like you already have a good idea, and I'm glad of that.
Well, and for the longest time, I really, did not at all. I thought I was what I had kind of come to terms with myself, I'll just major in psychology, and if I hate it, I'll change. But that was also kind of scary to me because, it's easier to go through the 4 years if you have all of the credits in your major. And then I would be able to, get a job quickly and, start a 401k or whatever y'all do. And, so... Not that money is that important, but I do want to be able to buy a house, so...
Yeah, well, it is. You do want to be able to support yourself, and it definitely is a factor to be considered, no doubt.
And, psychology is great, and I really enjoyed... Me and Jaden took AP Psychology together this year, and it is, I still love it. I think it's fascinating, but also... to deal with somebody else's problems, you got to have yourself figured out first. And so, that's more daunting than what I want to do when I grow up. I was kind of against education because literally everyone in my family is an educator, and I wanted to be quirky and different. But, here I am thinking that I want to go into education anyway. But really, if God is the one that told me that, who am I to argue? He knows more than me. So.
Exactly. Shelby's dad is a band director. He's been doing that for a few decades now, and he still loves it. He still loves doing it. Is there something else you'd like to share with us?
Just about this church. So obviously back when I was, the very first little Unity kid here, it was just me and Shelby pretty much coloring in the back room. Yeah, we were literally... We were quite literally shoved in a closet, and we were just, coloring with each other, and so looking back now, I'm like, that was so long ago. and now Miss Nay has brought this wonderful youth group that comes with her, and it is amazing to me how much it's grown from just me and Shelby coloring in a closet to this whole youth program that is like radiant and, you know, beautiful and talented in their own ways. And, you know, obviously Miss Nay, she's just a beam of light herself. Like, so the fact that they have brought so much, you know, joy to this place means a lot to me, because I was here from, you know, closet days. So
That is literally true.
yeah. And it was like the service was happening next door, so so me and Shelby would be like, we have to be quiet. You can't walk too loud. So
and we actually have a great program now. I'm glad you mentioned that. We've learned so much. We have a briefer message that speaks to these young people. And then we also know that they like to be engaged. So we have after the message, then they have a little puzzle and a competition that they can have.
Yeah.
So it works really well for this group of youth, and we're really, really proud of it. And we thank you for sticking around.
I mean, of course, there's no other church I'd rather be at. Y'all are my people.
Oh. Well, we all claim you. We all do. Our little Micah has grown up. Thank you.
I'd like to add one thing. I met Micah when we had
At the Pepsi plant, right?
no, way before that, when we were in Long Beach, at the Unity there, and every Sunday, she would come, and she had this beautiful white dress and white top, one of those dresses that stood out like this, and she would dance like nobody's business during our songs, and it was always such an inspiration for me to see her. And so her spirit's always been very infectious.
That's pretty motivating. I wish I would have been all together like that when I was her age. I could have saved myself decades of. I mean, decades. She's smart. She knows. She's directed. I just wish I would have been like that. But thank you very much. That was so interesting, and it was very inspirational. Now we give expression to our appreciation for all that is offered here at Unity of Gulfport. Please take your offerings in your hands and say along with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust in God. Thank you.
Welcome to a place that knows you as God. Welcome to a place that knows who you are. We are of one mind, we are of one heart. Welcome to a place that knows the truth, that God is everything. God is me, God is you. Welcome to a place that knows you as God. Welcome to a place that knows you as God. Welcome to a place that knows you as God.
Nice. I did not know that you and Micah remembered coloring in a closet.
I didn't know she remembered that too, because I was little then. She was littler.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes, yes. Well, and you're still here, and we're grateful. We're grateful for everyone present here today and all the love they brought with them and will take right back out into the world. We're grateful for these principles, these practical tips that we receive here at Unity that teach us, that tell us, that show us how to live in very practical terms. Not in broad terms that we can't understand, but practical tips on how we can live and have peace of heart and mind, which is our goal. We're so grateful for these gifts and tithes. We just ask that they would be blessed and used for the absolute highest good. Amen. Now let's bless these youth, these good-looking people. Come on down, Michael and Jaden. You join the youth this morning. We're going to continue blessing you the way we do every Sunday and throughout the week. We think of you and praying for your highest good in each and every one of you. So, with me, we love you.
We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, empowering you to do great things.
And so it is. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are,